Welcome to the Aavenir Spotlight Series. I'm Russell with Aavenir Sales. I have Vikram on the line with me with Aavenir Solutions. In this series, we are addressing some of the biggest challenges enterprises face within contract management, as well as some innovative solutions to solve those problems. As a refresher, Aavenir Contractflow is an end-to-end contract lifecycle management solution built 100% native on the ServiceNow platform. And today we'll be focusing our session on the final box on your screen, which is contract management. Specifically, we'll be talking about contract analytics and data. The vast majority of enterprises are managing most of their contract lifecycle manually and offline. Perhaps there's an intake form to make a request or a repository for storage, but very rarely is the end-to-end process executed in a single system. Just ask yourself about your last contract. Was most of the work done in Microsoft Word and circulated over email, and you're really making changes the same way you've been making them for the past 25 years? These decentralized offline processes leave you with next to nothing in terms of meaningful data, no way to tell where the process is stalling, no way to make proactive decisions based on macro views of contract terms or milestones, and no way to anticipate the bottlenecks or problems that your contracts might be trying to tell you about.
Well, thank you very much, Russell, for handing over. And so today we are going to take a look at the dashboards and analytics that Avenue Contract Flow gives you to be able to monitor, track, and manage the contracts that you do in your organization. Now, let's begin with this. One of the top things as a spend manager, as a category manager, is that you want to keep an eye on all your contracts that are going to expire. Now, that's not something that you can easily find out. It's very difficult to keep track of expiring contracts. But we give you that visibility right here, where you can see all your expiring contracts. And by the way, we give you notifications of your expiring contracts. The first notification you receive at 90 days to expiry, the second notification you receive at 60 days, and third one at 30 days. That gives you enough visibility and advance warning and time to be able to transition out those contracts, to fulfill outstanding obligations, and essentially do whatever it is that you need to do to manage those expiring contracts. Uh, One very important thing as a category manager is you want to be able to get through your contracts fast and in a very short amount of time, because the only thing that's really stopping in the way of you and your business is time. And so you want to have a view into process bottlenecks that's actually delaying your contracting process. And so we give you this loading graph here that tells you exactly where are your bottleneck processes. For example, whether your contracts are always piling up in the reviews or whether your contracts are always piling up in the approval stage. So as soon as you see a spike in any one of these bars, that immediately gives you a visual cue that that's your bottleneck process. And it could be a staffing problem. You need to add more people. It could be an area of process that needs some technology automation, but you can only solve that if you really know where that problem lies. And that's the visibility you get from this loading graph. So from an operational standpoint, and as well as strategic standpoint, it's important to know where you're spending your money. What are your biggest contracted spends? And so we give you this visibility from this graph here that shows you the top companies that you're having maximum spends with. So in this case, these are your top 3 companies where you're having maximum spends. And you would want to generally relate this with your vendor categories. So because you want to make sure that your spends are in line with which are your strategic and major vendors. If you suddenly see a rise in spend from one of the smaller vendors, that should immediately give you a flag, and you might want to look into why that's happening.
Thank you, Vikram, for the excellent outline of the dashboard. To recap, Avenir Contract Flow, dashboards and analytics are going to help your team turn insights into action, reduce their risk, and ultimately give you a better view of the efficiency and operations across your entire enterprise, because your entire enterprise defines their strategy and behavior and relationships and actions by the contracts that they hold. Thank you very much for watching this session of the Avenir Spotlight series. And until next time, thank you.